All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and over the past few days I've had a lot of you guys hitting me up asking which uniforms you should pick up for Black Friday 2024. So that's what I want to cover in this video. Keep in mind, this is just my perspective based on how I play the game and the characters that I like to use to basically clear as much of the content as I possibly can. So as you can see, I have almost all of the uniforms in the game at Mythic, and I have 37 tier 4s. A lot of those tier 4s are honestly kind of useless to me at this point, so you're gonna notice that I'm gonna leave them off of the list, and I think you can skip over a lot of them as well. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Keep in mind that I'm gonna put some characters on this list that are going to get replaced soon. I just wanted to highlight them in case you were thinking about picking them up. You do not want to pick them up because they have, right now, I would say less than 6 to 7 months of shelf life currently. First one that is going to get replaced, that just literally got a uniform for Halloween, is Falcon. This uniform is a really good support uniform for Doctor Strange and Captain America. They're zombie forms anyway. However, Captain America Brave New World is coming in February, I believe February 14th, if they don't push it back. So obviously the boy is going to get a new uniform. We're going to get Thunderbolt Ross, and we're also going to get a new uniform for Sharon Carter. So new uniform for Red Hulk, new uniform for Sharon Carter, and a new uniform for Falcon at the very least for that update. So you do not want to buy this uniform for Falcon, even though it is useful right now, converting him into a support character, something he has never been. If you have the crystals and you want to spend it, cool, because more than likely he's going to return. Not more than likely, there's a 100% certainty that he's returning to being a hero, and he's probably going to stay that way for the foreseeable future. So if you want to have a version of him where he's a villain, then it might be a good buy, but either way, this one is going to get replaced with a more powerful uniform in terms of its ability to clear content, because this one right now is, in my opinion, weaker offensively than the one he had previously. But it's a support uniform, so it has its own place in the game. Moving on, next one that is going to get replaced soon, a little bit after Falcon, that is, in my opinion, really good right now. Like, if we're going to rank this in terms of power, it's absolutely fantastic. Invisible Woman is one of the best characters in the game right now, but Fantastic Four First Steps is scheduled for release, I believe, July of 2025. So obviously every single one of these guys, Susan, Johnny, Ben Grimm, aka The Thing, and then obviously Mr. Fantastic, all of them getting new uniforms. She is currently the best of the bunch, second by Johnny, and then obviously third is Reed, and last and definitely the least useful is The Thing. However, you do not want to buy her uniform right now if you want to basically get the most bang for your buck, but that's just my 2 cents. It's a fantastic uniform. I use it every chance I get for Otherworld Battle and Alliance Conquest. She is super meta there, especially since they ban so many characters so frequently, but it's gonna get replaced within like 7-8 months. So buy it if you want to, but it's definitely gonna get replaced by something bigger, better, badder, stronger, etc. Another one that is currently one of the best uniforms in the freaking game in its own right, a PvP god, Silver Surfer. However, this one is gonna get replaced at the same time that these get replaced, because in case you missed it, right here, this girl right here is gonna be playing Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four movie. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of Silver Surfer becoming a woman, but that's the direction that they're gonna take in the MCU, so keep that in mind. Silver Surfer is getting a new uniform within the next 7-8 months, so buy it at your own discretion. I think you kind of want to buy this one because you're gonna be losing a lot more fights in the next 8 months if you don't have this uniform, and we don't know for sure if the next uniform for Silver Surfer is gonna be a PvP uniform, but every iteration of him so far has always been PvP, so I presume it's gonna be the same. It's very rare that they take a character that is PvP based and make him PvE, or vice versa. So keep that in mind. This one is going to get replaced soon. The same goes for Sentry. Sentry's in the Thunderbolts movie. He is currently the strongest PvP character in the game. These two are like neck and neck, Sentry 1, Surfer 2. But both of them are in line to get replaced because the Thunderbolts, let me pull up the casting for you right here. You can see we have Black Widow, that's Yelena, but she's not meta right now, so she's not on the list. You shouldn't buy her uniform. We got Sentry in here. We got Mel, we got Taskmaster, we got Bucky. So there's plenty of changes coming next year, even though we're getting, I think, only 3 MCU movies, which is good. They need to drop down the quantity and up the quality. So hopefully it's really good movies, but I am not gonna hold my breath. So keep that in mind. Sentry, Surfer, both destined to get replaced, but they're just so damn good that you're better off buying them on Black Friday and using them to farm crystals in timeline battle, and then rebuying the better versions of them next year. I think you will at the very least break even if you build them up, have them at tier 4 already, or you're going to, within, I would say, days of buying these uniforms, if they're not already tier 4. If you buy the uniforms and you have them at tier 4 and you just farm timeline for the next 8 months until these uniforms drop, then you'll probably get your value out of it, in my opinion. But just keep in mind that they're going to get replaced. Same goes for Taskmaster, right? Taskmaster is a great support for ABX, ABL, and obviously War Boss and Giant Boss Raid, but he's in line to get a female uniform that might do something different, but more than likely he's going to keep his support passive. Moving on, we can just go ahead and start putting up some of the support characters here, because it goes without saying that you want to pick up at least, I would say every player should have at least 8 to 9 really diverse support characters. Like, for example, she only gives you extra damage against males. He only buffs heroes. She buffs everyone. She buffs everyone. She has a HP / physical attack leadership, but also gives you extra damage to boss types. So you want to get as many support characters as possible. She only buffs heroes. She only buffs villains, but you definitely want to get a diverse group of villains and heroes as supports. You definitely want to get Ronan. He's really good. Wong is one of those ones where I would say this version of him, since it's a villain and he's primarily a hero, it's a good one to pick up over the hero version of him, because at some point Wong is going to get another uniform and it's going to convert him back into a hero. So if you were going to buy a uniform for Wong to buff your Doctor Strange, then go ahead and pick up this one. Obviously you can buff Doctor Doom as well, since it only applies to magic allies. Now at this point, Red Goblin is primarily just a support. We could shake up the ranking and make it based on how useful they are, but I'm not even gonna bother. Just pick and choose which ones from here you want to buy. Now some people would argue the value of Ancient One, but if you have Ghost Rider, I think, and you like him and you have him at tier 4 and you use him a lot, especially for the zombie survival mode, Ancient One and Robbie Reyes together are really good supports for Ghost Rider, because she's gonna give him extra elemental damage and resistance, and then you have Robbie Reyes that's gonna give you more fire resistance, and then Robbie Reyes' artifact, let me show you guys, converts resistance into fire damage. So combining, let me just go ahead and find her, right? She's gonna give you 40% extra elemental damage, which is fire damage, and then 30% resistance, which in the case of somebody like Ghost Rider is fire resist. And then let me go ahead and find Robbie Reyes. I'm just trying to explain why Ancient One is actually a good pickup for those of you guys who think she is not. Then you have Robbie Reyes. This guy converts he gives you fire damage and fire resistance, but then his artifact will convert resistance, as you can see right here, converts fire resistance into fire damage. So you definitely want to, if you have the artifact for Robbie Reyes, pick up the uniform, and I would also recommend picking up Ancient One as well. She's also a really good character for zombie survival, because you can use, like when you're stacking, doing like 4 supports and only 1 DPS, she's actually really good for some weeks, because she actually heals you with her 5th skill, and she has decent survivability. Like, she can stay alive for a long time and basically just heal up your character if they don't have their heal skill available, right? Because for zombie survival, let me just jump in here, boom boom, for zombie survival, depending on the characters that you're using, some weeks your healing skill might actually be locked out, so it's nice to have her to be able to heal you. Anyways, moving on, we got the PvP supports like Colossus. Cyclops is still holding on to some value, specifically for ABL on the Blast Male Supervillain Day, whether you're using Magneto or now Doctor Strange. Cyclops is one of the only supports available, him and Mysterio. So I'm just go ahead and throw Doctor Strange up there in the PvE God category. We got Proxima, who's still holding on to a little bit of value for ABX and ABL. Now Thanos, still PvP God in my book. Strife is a support. Thor, PvE God. Venom, absolutely a PvE God. Right now, I would say he's a support, a very good one for Iron Man. I debated with myself whether or not Iron Man was worthy of putting on this list, and ultimately I think he is. I use him pretty damn often and he's really, really good. I'm so happy to see the glow up that both him and Thor got this year. I wish I could say the same thing for Spider-Man, but Spider-Man honestly didn't get enough. He needed, I think I'm gonna put you right here and you right there. But yeah, I think he needed to get a little bit more survivability. I'm gonna put you right here just because you can die easily to the reflect. These two, it's a toss-up. Sometimes Logan wins, sometimes Adam wins, but I think that looks pretty good. Now for free-to-play alternatives, I'm gonna put this version of White Fox in here just because if you don't spend money on the game, you need a version of White Fox that you can actually use to buff your characters, because she's one of the best supports in the game, and this uniform gives you a little bit of value. You might not buy it, but it's up to you. It's the only option you have because the paywall one is out of your reach. Free-to-play alternative, this one as well, because Luna Snow's current seasonal uniform is cash only. This is your second best option. Now she is far below Luna Snow, but it's the best you got. She's a support. Let me just put her there. We'll sort out the categories after. She's a support. We'll sort her out afterwards. Hela is kind of a support, but she's actually really good for PvP, especially Otherworld Battle. So I got to put her there. I would say, unfortunately, Apocalypse and Doom, they're like two of the worst PvP gods, if you will. Unfortunately, these boys are a big letdown. He absolutely needs the artifact to revive. Doom is a little bit better than him, especially if you don't have the artifact. I'm gonna say he might be replaced soon. We have to wait and see. Next Tuesday, there's the possibility that we're gonna get tier 4 Null and a new uniform for Carnage. So for right now, he is here, but if he wasn't here, he would be around here, in my opinion. Definitely better than Spider-Man, in my opinion, because he has the undead artifact, which will allow him to live long enough to kill Spider-Man. It's just not happening. I would say Carnage is better than all of these guys. Let me put him down here in the replace. So he's a free-to-play alternative if you don't have seasonal Rogue, seasonal Storm, or seasonal Psylocke. You heard that right. Seasonal, seasonal, seasonal. And all three of them females are paywall. Next up, we got Agent Venom. That's a support. My boy right here is a free-to-play monster. I got a tier for him soon. He's absolutely a PvE god. I don't know how strong he is at tier 4 yet, so I'm gonna put him behind Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel is a beast. Zombie Cap, definitely better than these two at the very least. When I have him at tier 4, I'll get a better assessment of whether or not he is better than Spider-Man. If you have Weapon Hex to give him the immortality for the 7 seconds, then he goes to about here, in my opinion. Like, he easily dwarfs these two, but without Weapon X, I would say he's about here. This guy, PvE god for ABX and ABL. Deadpool, I want to say probably around here, just in front of Spider-Man, possibly with the artifact. That's where I want to put him. So right here, we're gonna put you. He's losing a little bit of ground because we got Venom, who is easier to play, more fun to use, and has way better survivability. So when it comes to world boss and giant boss raid, I would go with Venom hands down. When it comes to any stage that I have to use a villain, I would probably choose Hulk over him. I would say I would put Hulk. See, Hulk can go both ways, PvE and PvP. But right now, most people are using him for PvE. So I would say I would put him around here. I'm gonna put him like right exactly where I put Thanos. It's something like this. Then we got her. I'm gonna put her down here. The only reason I'm putting her this low down is because she only has one day that people really use her for, and that's the speed villain day in ABX, not even ABL. However, I've heard talks that she is better than Jean Grey in ABL for the villain day, and I haven't seen it, so for now she's gonna go right there. Definitely gonna put Jean Grey around here. Like, she can go both ways, but if we're putting her in timeline right now, she would probably be somewhere around here, like where these guys are at. She's kind of falling off a little bit. Anyways, moving on. Gotta put my queen around here. Okay, I gotta do it. That's my baby. I would say only buy the uniform for Rachel if you have the artifact. If you don't have the artifact, do not buy the uniform. Miles, I gotta say Miles probably around here. He's not meta for anything. So I guess like because of that, I can't put him in front of Gwenpool because she's actually meta. But he's just so freaking powerful for world boss. Like, he melts. We're gonna put you here. And Ebony Maw, I honestly, he's a good support, but considering that the last two World Boss Legends that we got are not universal, he's losing a lot of value. So we'll put him there at the lowest possible tier. But we'll do something like that. Let's see, move this around a little bit. Yeah, I think this looks pretty accurate. You guys can argue about it in the comment section. If I missed anyone, let me know, but there's so many uniforms in the game, so I want it to be as cutthroat as possible. So I'm sure some of the characters that I left off of here, you're probably gonna say should have been included, but I can't include everyone. So leave me your thoughts in the comments. I think this looks pretty accurate. I honestly think it's a little bit too bloated. I wanted to make it like a flat 50, but it is what it is. I'll catch you guys in the next one.